Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Life from the Wrist. Hope you guys are doing well today. Our coverage of Geneva Watch Days continues. I'm going to be talking about Oris today, and I'm going to say it, I think Oris so far has produced one of the most interesting and I think one of the best releases from Geneva Watch Days. There's two main watches I'm going to be discussing in this video. The first one is the Oris Aquis Upcycle, which I believe to be, like I said, one of the best watches to come out of Geneva Watch Days. And then the second one I'm going to talk about is a limited edition that they came out with Rega. It's a limited edition GMT watch from Oris. So I'll get into the details of those two watches in this video. We've already covered Audemars Piguet for Geneva Watch Days, so if you want to check that out, be sure to check out our previous video. And we're going to cover a whole host of brands over the next couple of episodes. So stay tuned if you want to catch some of the content of Geneva Watch Days. So diving straight in, I wanted to talk about the Oris Aquis Upcycle, which, like I mentioned, I believe is one of the best watches to come out of it. Not only from its purpose, but also just the general aesthetics of it, just so cool. So to sort of build off of this, Oris has kind of taken a stance on creating a cleaner environment and manufacturing watches in a cleaner way and trying to help sort of the climate change movement, which I think is really, really important to be a part of, which is really great. And so what they ended up doing was they took their Oris Aquis date model and they've transformed it into using some recycled materials. It's using recycled PET plastics to create the dials of these watches. So if you don't know, the Oris Aquis comes in a 36mm and a 41mm case size. And what they've decided to do is use PET plastics and create this really unique design for the dial of these watches. They've done other things that are sort of environmentally conscious, like their Clean Ocean limited edition that they produced, a ton of other stuff that they've done. So they didn't change the overall design of the Oris Aquis. It still is an Aquis. This is a dive watch in stainless steel with a date at 6 o'clock, hours, minutes, seconds, hand. So you're getting the general Oris Aquis, sort of feel to it. And then the thing that they changed about this watch is the dial. So as I mentioned previously, they're using PET plastics to create the dials for these watches. And what's really cool is the color of this dial kind of meshes together a whole host of really bright and eye-catching watches. The ones that I've seen in pictures have this really cool sort of light blue that's meshed with sort of these purples and browns and reds. It really just is so eye-capturing and so rad. I think it's so cool. I also like the fact that the bezel of this watch is fairly muted in color, and so the dial is really what stands out to your eye. What's really cool is this is not a limited edition. So it's not a limited, the two things, not a limited edition, and the dials that you can get are unique. So whether you're going for, whether you get, I would say two different watches that are produced maybe one after another are going to have completely different dials, which I think makes it so cool. In a way, I actually think that's going to make this watch, down the line, obviously, it's going to make this watch rather collectible, because you'll probably find some fairly unique looking not dial configurations, I guess dial patterns that this plastic has produced, that Oris has created, and I think it's going to look absolutely exceptional. So that's this watch. The movement in it is the Oris Aquis, typical 733 movement, which is based on a Sellita SW200-1. Obviously has Oris's finishing and some slight modifications, not slight modifications, just finishing and decorations from Oris on it there. When you flip the watch over, you're obviously going to have a display case back where you can see the movement, of course that's obviously a great thing for you to be able to see. What's really interesting is there's no markings on there to say that it's a upcycled dial or anything like that. I guess it's just what it is. But upcycled plastics that are being used for these dials, this is a really great statement. And to be honest, I know that a lot of the times companies get criticized for maybe going with an environmental movement so that they can try and find customers who think that's really important. But I think Oris is really genuine in their intentions here, and they've produced a watch that I think is going to go like hotcakes. But yeah, Oris Aquis Date Upcycle, hands down, I think one of the best watches to come out of Geneva Watch Days. So that's the first watch that I wanted to cover. The next watch is a limited edition they released with in collaboration with the Swiss air rescue organization called Rega, and this is a watch that obviously takes a lot of its design elements, but also some of the decisions into how this watch was produced and the complications used were in collaboration with Rega. So if you don't know, Rega is actually, I believe it's a non-profit organization that assists in helping I don't know where I'm going with this. It's a non-profit organization based in Switzerland that specializes in air rescue, and so they're actually, I think, funded by patrons through donations, but they've become a really big name in Switzerland and are helping Swiss citizens consistently with their fleet of aircrafts. And what Oris produced was the limited edition Big Crown Pro Pilot that obviously has the colorways and aesthetics of the Rega organization in red and black. And when this watch was produced, obviously Oris approached Rega and they said they really love the GMT complication in the watches that they're going to be wearing during missions. And so Oris added a GMT hand to this watch. So if you look at the dial of this watch, black dial, I believe it's a stainless steel case, but it's finished with this sort of dark material. White hour indicators. You have a date at 3 o'clock. You have an hours and minutes and seconds hand, and then you have a GMT hand with a little red arrow at the end. What's really interesting is sort of on the inside of the dial is where you're actually going to find the GMT numbers, and so that is the watch. It comes on a red strap. It comes on a black strap. That obviously is synonymous with the Rega organization. If you flip the watch over, you actually have a really cool engraving where you have an engraving of one of the aircrafts that they have in their fleet. So Rega has 21 aircrafts in their fleet, and 100 watches are going to be created with the with a case back that has an image of that specific aircraft. So 2100 watches, but it can range from the different types of helicopters that they produce or aircrafts that they fly. I think it's super cool. Like, talk about collectible. You could have one of each different aircraft. Maybe some aircrafts are going to be more rare than others because they're going to, people are going to have an affinity with specific aircrafts. It's just a really cool watch and a great limited edition for them to have released. So 2100 watches, 21 aircrafts, a great testament to kind of bringing to light a really important organization within Switzerland, and just a wonderful celebration of a great organization in that's really a hugely impactful to Switzerland. So yeah, Oris, I've been very impressed with Oris over the last couple of years. I think within the last 2 years, we've seen so many great watches come out from the brand, and I hands down think that they absolutely dominated Geneva Watch Days, in my opinion. So wonderful to see these watches. I hope you guys enjoyed the coverage of this. I apologize I don't have these watches, but if you know me, I try to be as informative in these videos as possible so you can learn about them. If you want to check out our article where we talk about these watches, be sure to go to the website. You can go to the editorial section of lifeonthewrist.com. You can check those out. Stay tuned for more Geneva Watch Days videos and articles, as well as podcasts. If you are new to Life on the Wrist, be sure to hit the subscribe channel. We'd love to have you a part of the Life on the Wrist family. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about Oris's releases. And with this said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time.